to our channel, Cinnamon Glazed Nuts. Well, it's 8 p.m. and we got back from a festival, and we're going to go ahead and clean this machine and get it all tidied up for next time. And I'm going to show you the whole entire process from start to finish. Okay, so the first thing that you'll notice here is we've got a real gunky machine, which tends to happen after you've been roasting for a while. But not to worry, it's actually super simple to get this thing back into pristine condition. So what you got to do is I've got 4 cups of water, and you pour the whole entire thing in. And this machine does the entire cleaning process virtually by itself, and then you just kind of have to wipe it down, which you'll see. But you put the quart of water in, and then you use this lid to cover up the machine. And this is actually the only purpose of this lid, is for cleaning. You don't use this to roast or anything, but what this does is when you run the cycle, then it actually creates a bunch of steam, which will kind of melt off any of the extra sugar that's been coated onto the inside of the roaster. So after you put your lid on, all we got to do is turn on the motor and turn on the heat. And we wait for about 10 minutes or so, and at that point then you'll start seeing some steam come up around the edge of the lid. Okay, so as you can see, when this motor is running, you'll see the motor red light is on, and when the heat's active, you also have a red heat light to indicate that. And on the timer box, you'll have H3, which just basically means that it's the level of heat that's on the machine, and it's what's being used to do the cleaning cycle. Okay, so it's starting to steam. And if you listen closely, you can actually hear that the water is boiling inside the roaster, which is going to melt any coated sugar off the inside of the machine for you. It makes it very simple to clean, because essentially when that's done, we're going to use this tray to dump all of the water into the pan, and everything comes out nice and clean. We just wipe it down and we're off. Okay, so after about 10 minutes have passed, you've got a good amount of steam going. We're going to go ahead and turn off the motor and turn off the heat. And very carefully remove the lid, because the steam is extremely hot. Okay. You set the lid aside. And one little trick that I've picked up by doing this a few times is I like to lay a towel across the spot here, because what we're going to end up doing is we're going to lift up, just as if though you're dumping a batch of nuts, we're going to lift up the motor and pour the water onto this tray, which goes down into the pan. And it's a very tricky process, but having a towel here in between catches any extra water that wants to drip down, because sometimes it wants to kind of go back down underneath by where the motor is, or in between the tray and the roaster. So this just kind of helps collect anything that doesn't make it right onto this tray. Okay, now we're going to dump the water. Okay, so we dumped the water, and now basically what we got to do next is take this rag and just wipe things down. Everything's real nice and cleaned off. Okay, so then basically now what we got to do here is make a little twist and pull this shaft out, and that allows us to get underneath here and clean off any little remaining pieces of nuts that might be hanging out down there. You got to be very careful with this part, because this piece is extremely hot at this point. So you have to definitely make sure and hold it with a towel or something. Okay, so now that we've got the roasting part nice and clean, You're going to take and get your damp cloth and just kind of go around all the way around on the surface of the machine. We've got some caked on sugar from cotton candy at our last festival that's been floating around, and so any sort of extra debris that might end up on your surface, now's the time to get it nice and spotless again. Just got to scrub a little bit harder on some of that caked on nut sugar, but it's stainless steel so it comes right off. Okay, and then one tip that I like to do is at the very end just follow up with a dry cloth, and it helps to get it nice and clean and dry versus leaving water streaks. So one thing you want to make sure is that you don't lose this nylon bushing that hides out on the top of the shaft, but you can definitely take it down and clean up underneath it, make sure there's nothing hiding up there, sugar, nuts, or anything. But that's an important piece that goes between the shaft and the bushing that we just cleaned out. Once you put the shaft back in, you kind of rotate it until it drops in, and then you twist it a little and it locks in place. And now it's ready to go for the next time. Okay, so one of the last things we have to do is take one of these Scotch-Brite scrubbers, and these would actually come with a kit that you can buy from the Nutty Bavarian. If you don't already have an NBR 2000 Plus, or if you're looking to buy one, we did an unboxing video for you here. You can click that to watch it. Better hurry, it's going to go away soon. Subscribe.